It's reported after Britney got slapped, she said, "Baby, hit me one more time and see what happens." You are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. Now, I really wasn't going to make this video because it's not horror or conspiracy theory related, but I guess what Britney Spears and Victor Webmenaya, the player for the Spurs, is going through can be considered horror for them because they're both put in a crappy situation. Now, I don't know if Britney was stalking this man because she recognized the athlete in a hotel she was staying in and then saw him later again in a restaurant at a different hotel. Victor Webmenaya is a big deal for the San Antonio Spurs. If you don't know basketball, he's pretty much the LeBron James or the Michael Jordan of their team. They're banking all their success off this man. So of course, this famous basketball player for the San Antonio Spurs, the 7-foot-tall basketball player, is surrounded by security. Now, Britney decides to rush in between his security, and this is where the story starts to differentiate. Britney states that she only tapped him on the shoulder, but Victor states that she grabbed him on the shoulder.
What happened last night is I saw the news, obviously, this morning. I woke up to a couple of phone calls, and so yeah, there was something did happen a little bit when I was walking with some security of the team to some restaurant. We were in a hall. There was a lot of people, so people calling me, obviously, and there was one person who was calling me, but we talked before with the security, don't stop because it's gonna make a crowd. So I couldn't stop. So that person was calling me, sir, and that person grabbed me from behind. So I didn't see what happened because I was walking straight and we told don't stop. But that person grabbed me from behind, not on my shoulder. She grabbed me from behind, and so I just know that the security pushed her away. I don't know with how much force though, but security pushed her away, and I didn't stop to look, so I kept walking and enjoyed a nice dinner. That was a fun night with the guys.
It doesn't matter whether she tapped him or she grabbed him. It's a pretty dumb idea to think you're gonna run between somebody's security and still physically touch this famous person that they're supposed to protect. Even if this man wasn't a famous basketball player, nobody should really be running up on anybody and touching them. And upon seeing this woman rush up on Victor, security springs into action, and one security guard backhands Britney so hard her glasses come flying off of her face and she almost fell to the ground. And this is why I say there are two wrongs here. Britney Spears definitely should not have rushed up on this basketball player who is surrounded by security. I don't know what she thought was going to happen, but the security did their job. They sprung into action. But did the security guard really need to slap her? I am sure these security guards are huge. These are probably some of the best security that money can buy. A lot of money went into these security guards, which I'm sure Victor did not pay for. This came from the San Antonio Spurs to protect this man at all cost. He is their golden goose. This security guard is probably a monster, so he could have picked her up and moved her out of the way or pushed her back. I really don't think there was a need to backhand her that hard. Victor did nothing wrong here. He just finished his great meal and was returning back to his hotel room. His security told him, do not stop for anybody. Do not look back. Just keep going to your hotel room. And that's what he did. It was Britney Spears who inappropriately rushed up on this man, thinking that because she's Britney Spears, the security guards will not do anything. Let's be honest, Britney Spears doesn't have that celebrity power like she used to. They probably did not know who she was for a good minute. And I'm saying that because this is not the first time she ran up on somebody famous and they did not know who she was. She ran up on Ed O'Neill at an airport, the man who played Al Bundy, because she's a fan of his. She ran up on him, grabbing him, asking him for a photograph. And he said he didn't realize who she was for a good minute. It took him a while to realize who was asking him for a photograph, and then he finally took the photograph. So she does have a history of rushing up on celebrities and grabbing them, and this time it did not work out for her. Now, after slapping Britney, the security guards continue to escort Victor to his hotel room. Britney heads back to the hotel's restaurant in pain and embarrassed, decides to sit down at a table in the back of the restaurant. Now this table had someone's bag on top, as to show there was someone sitting here, but they may have went to the restroom. She decides to move the bag and sits there anyway, because again, she's Britney Spears, she can do anything. Now the person who was actually sitting there was Pauly Shore. He's put his bag on top as he went to the restroom. He returns, he sees Britney Spears sitting there, he says hi to her, and she completely ignores him. As he's still trying to speak to her, she continues to ignore him. He grabs his bag and leaves. I mean, how dare he? Pauly Shore really has some nerve. How dare he speak to Britney Spears, who took his table? This man really tweezers my titties. Now, Britney Spears sat at Pauly Shore's table to decide what is the best course of action from here. Where should she go from here? Well, she has decided she wants a public apology, not just from Victor Webmenaya, but also the entire San Antonio Spurs. She made a long statement on Twitter saying, "Traumatic experiences are not new to me, and I had my fair share of them. I was not prepared for what happened to me last night. But to be fair, is anybody ever really prepared for a backhanded slap?" And again, I'm not making light of the situation, but what does somebody think is going to happen when you get between somebody famous like a basketball player and their security? She also continues to state that she gets swarmed by people all the time. In fact, that night, she states that she was swarmed by a group of at least 20 fans, and her security team did not hit any of them. Yes, the security guard did use excessive force. He didn't have to slap her, like I said. There are other ways he could have restrained and controlled the situation. He could have even pushed her back. There, I do agree with Britney Spears, but again, she was the one in the wrong. Even though she was surrounded by fans, these same fans were not touching and grabbing her either. And if she is being touched and grabbed, she's being tapped, you have to question, why is her security so lax? Britney Spears' husband did come out and speak on the situation, saying it was indefensible violence against women. Now, of course, he has to defend his woman, but at the end of the day, you should not be rushing up on somebody who's surrounded by security and touching them, because you do not know the kind of action his security will take. I don't think it's a man or woman thing. I think this is just security protecting the person they're supposed to protect. Take me, for example. I remember a few years ago I saw Cisco, the man who created the Thong song. I rushed up on him in his personal space saying, "Oh my God, you're Cisco, thong, the thong, thong, thong." His security beat my ass so bad that I had to wear a thong for at least a few weeks. And that incident made me reevaluate how I should approach people, famous or not. But at the end of the day, Britney Spears is definitely wrong. The security guard is also wrong. I do believe he did use excessive force. Victor did nothing wrong. He has this negative attention on him now, and all he wanted to do was head back to his hotel room after finishing his meal. If anything, the apology is owed to him. But what do you believe? I want to hear from you. Do you believe Britney Spears was completely in the right in rushing up on this basketball player and nothing was supposed to happen? Or do you believe, yeah, Britney should not be rushing up on people, and the security guard may have used a little bit of force than necessary, but at the end of the day, Britney is definitely in the wrong here. Like I said, please comment below, but no matter how you feel about this incident, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.